How's everybody doing today? We just got the old chipper set up. We're out back here at the firewood yard. We have some wood. There's a little more to cut. Just kicking around. So we wanted to get some of it down. And we're going to chip that off first with this chipper. And boy, it's been interesting. But we got a lot tuned in. She got a lot done to her this time. We went through and redone a lot of the grease stuff because stuff was dangling everywhere, and none of them were filled up like this, like they're supposed to be. So we went through and just redid everything. And yeah, see, look at all this new action back here. It's like it's supposed to be again, so it's easier to grease. Which, if it's easier to grease, hopefully it gets greased a little more. And then this got all redone, so that's all looking spanking new in there. That should work good. But yeah, this is kind of what's going on. I tightened up a couple of pins on that thing. Got a new feed wheel in there, and yeah. We just got all the grease certs all rearranged like they're supposed to be. Some of these weren't hooked up, some of them were staying, and there wasn't one back there going to the bearing back up in there. So we made a new hose, me and Ryan did. Got that fixed up. We got flail chain in it. Took some junk rods out. It's got new knives in it. Checked the fluids on both motors. Put new screens on the motors, on the radiators there. Engines, I'm sorry, engines. I get in trouble for saying the wrong word usage. So yeah, that'll keep the dust off it. And then we got a whole new, some love over here, right up in there. So those, the one section needed to be changed. There was actually a shaft that was screwed up too. That got changed. And that was actually, the seals were leaking on that, and it was actually because your radiators right there was blowing stuff from that, blowing onto the chip van that was sitting right here getting loaded. So we kind of took care of that mess and got that all straightened out so that we don't have no problems with that anymore. Just a few things done to this old chipper. We got to get this air compressor fired up, because one problem is we get used to the tool truck and the air compressor on that. But the only problem is when the tool trucks with the new chipper, we need this thing to run. So the starter's bad, so we got a new one ordered for that. Took off the shroud off that. We really don't need that up there. Got that running. I don't have any airlines for it, so we got some airlines coming for it. Because once again, we got kind of spoiled with the new tool truck that you kind of don't have anything. So we're getting everything ordered up for it. And the one main problem that you see is the one serious main problem's right there. And all you operators know what I'm talking about. No air conditioning. So they got all that ordered up too. We changed one hose that was bad from here. That one got changed. I have not checked the fuel on this girl. I drove right by the fuel tanks up there to get here. Oh, we're good. Look at. Can you see yourself in there? Hey yo. Anyways, so we got some fuel. She's good on fuel. But yeah, we just went and did a bunch of work. But another problem that I have right now that I have to get fixed in the morning before I can do anything, which tomorrow's going to be interesting, is we did the switch on the cab. We finally did the switch to where it runs like other equipment. Only problem is now it's all backwards. All backwards. I mean, I'm totally jacked up. A total mess. When you move the joystick that's supposed to go to the left, well, what happened was he switched it over to one of the guys in the shop, and he switched everything over. The open close was backwards. You go to close it and it would open. So we just needed to fix that. Well, he went back up to his diagnostics on the back of the cab. He's got them all wrote down up there, right in there. And he switched the grapple open close. But here was the trick. He switched the grapple open close with the swing of the chipper. So when he switched the grapple open close, he actually switched the swing. If you're following along, he was supposed to fix the one, but he switched it before, so now he switched the one he wasn't supposed to switch, and now you're totally confused. So what had happened was, now when you're running it, you swing to the left and it goes to the right, and you swing to the right and it goes to the left, and you go to open your bucket and it closes, and you go to close and it opens. So now we're all backwards. But we're getting closer to where we need to be. You know what I mean? Trying to get it run like maybe other pieces of equipment. I gotta take that off yet. I gotta get some new bolts for it too, because as you can tell, it's got 2 different size bolts in there. And I prefer to have the same bolt. That way you only need 1 wrench or 2 wrenches, not 3 or 4 wrenches. So I gotta get that fixed. But that's what's kind of going on with this thing. I'm thinking we're gonna be I think we're going to be in real good shape. So yeah, we had a couple little drips up there in the old rat's nest, and we did go through and fix a bunch of that stuff in there. So yeah, that was a good thing too. So yeah, we just got some leaks fixed, got the feed wheel fixed. That's a new bearing in there, and run the hose up here. And I gotta get the conveyor out tomorrow. I tried to do it today and I was just completely lost. And the gentleman that switches the hoses, he can switch them in the morning, because I could do it. I just don't want to get up there and screw it all up worse than it is. You know what I mean? But anywho, it's coming together. We got our hoses. But the next problem I got is apparently when they folded it up, and they snapped the chain off. So I got to put that on in the morning too. Which is just life in general. But we got some new knives kicking around in there. This thing's just coming together. And as you can tell, this one's got new. She's already been rebuilt there too, just like the new one. So anywho's, I got me a new, look at this. You can't get through that right there. That's unbreakable. I prefer that. Some people throw some bolts in there, and if you don't get the bolt tight, it rattles out, because this whole thing's just a vibrating machine, and then it opens up, and then all your tools fall out, and then that blows a bunch of garbage on them, and yada yada yada. But yeah, it's coming together. One question I get a lot, comments, and I got another one yesterday, was why don't we put hoods on the motors, engines, and on the air compressor? It's pretty simple why we don't. Simply for fire reasons. That's why none of these chippers have hoods on them. Just because you get a fire in an area, and if you can't get in there to get it out, it's a mess. And you're blowing, you got the air nozzle blowing on these things so you got the air nozzle blowing on these things every couple days. And if you have this covered up, it wouldn't be pretty, because stuff flies out from right here, flies out from right there, comes up, hits the fan, and just blows all over. But your big trouble spots right here, in the new chipper's different, but your big trouble spots right here, all of it sits down in there. And you can even see right here, you just get little stuff like this, and that's just, it all builds up right on the manifold there. So having a hood over it, I don't even want to imagine that, because like I said, you're blowing it off all the time. And when you get a fire and you can't get to it to put it out, we were welding on the back of that this week, and he had something smoldering there and he couldn't get to it, and we just pulled it out of the shop and just gave her the water. And but out in the woods you don't have that luxury, so it's more or less you just got to leave them open. And she's been sitting like this for years, over 20 years. And so yeah, that's why we don't, no hoods on this chipper, the other chipper, the other chipper, the other chipper, because you got to get in there and you got to blow it out, and it would just hold it way worse than if it just blew it out. So that's what you're dealing with. So I thought I'd answer that question real quick. That's why we don't put hoods on anything, because you got to keep her clean. See, she even tells you, yeah, that's what she's telling me. So anyways, that's what's going on with this chipper. We're gonna get her running in the morning. Well, I'm gonna get going. Josh has called me like 3 times, so I'm gonna get going and I'll answer his phone call, because I'm recording this with the iPhone, so he's bothering me, which is fine. He's just missing me, I think, missing my voice. So just keep rolling. Chipper's rolling, kind of, sort of, even though everything's backwards. What do? You know, get her tuned in, dialed in, fixed up. Thanks for watching. Just keep rolling. We'll talk to you guys later.